Welcome back to Boy Party's 25 for 25, the 25 best films of the last 25 years. Today it's number 22, the Spongebob Squarepants Movie.
Where is it? It's right here, Captain. I never thought I'd see it in the own eye. Tickets to the Spongebob Movie!
So, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie was released in 2004 after a couple of seasons of SpongeBob SquarePants had been broadcast on Nickelodeon. SpongeBob begins in 1999, so pretty soon after the show begins and becomes this huge phenomenon, they start developing a big screen version, and ultimately this film comes out in 2004, directed by the show's creator, Steven Hillenburg.
Everything's gonna be just fine.
I'm really scared here, man.
You got a name?
Phil?
You got a family, Phil?
I got to see this in the cinema upon its original release, something that I'm very happy happened, I suppose, because had I gotten into SpongeBob about a year later than I did, I would have missed this film's theatrical run, and that would have been really upsetting because it was an incredible experience. I was introduced to SpongeBob the show by a friend and colleague of my parents who has died in the past couple of years, and his kids were watching it, and he showed it to me at his house one day when me and his kids were hanging out. And when he passed away a couple of years ago, the first thing I associated with him was that he had been the person to introduce me to SpongeBob SquarePants, which has been such an important part of my life. It's an incredible piece of comedy, animated storytelling, that show, and this movie as well, but just so much surrealism and imagination, and it comes from Hillenburg, who just seems to be this brilliant, bursting with ideas guy. And he died very young in 2018, and it was very upsetting, to be honest, because he contributed so much to my sense of humor, my sense of whimsy, and all that SpongeBob has contributed to my life as a child of the late 90s, early 2000s. But I'm not going to sit here for 10 minutes explaining to you why the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is funny, but I will run through what happens in this film for any of you who may not have seen it, maybe slightly too old or too young to have been on the right generational track to have seen this when it came out or have revisited it. But it is a really phenomenal big screen, big scale adaptation of what makes the animated series so fantastic. The film begins with a framing device where Patchy the Pirate is bringing his pirate pals to see the SpongeBob SquarePants movie in the cinema, and then we're taken to Bikini Bottom, to our beautiful 2D animated world. It looks basically the same as the first couple seasons of the show, which is great. A bit slicker and shinier, but nothing that would ruin the visual vibe that everyone loves from the show. The later movies, unfortunately, do start to mess around with the visual look a little bit too much and change the character designs, and I think they suffer as a result. SpongeBob is waiting for the Krusty Krab 2 to open up because he is expecting to be promoted to manager, because Mr. Krabs is opening a new restaurant and SpongeBob has been the very loyal fry cook for the past few years. So SpongeBob goes along to this announcement expecting to be revealed as the manager. Mr. Krabs is being interviewed about his motivation for opening the Krusty Krab 2.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money.
And then Mr. Krabs gets up and announces who the new manager is, and it's not SpongeBob at all. It's Squidward Tentacles, his grouchy co-worker, a character that I relate to enormously. I love Squidward with all my heart. Such a wonderful character. And Squidward is a little bit older, a little bit more experienced, and a little bit more mature than SpongeBob, so he is in fact made manager of Krusty Krab 2.
A name you all know. It starts with an S.
That's me!
Please welcome our new manager, Squidward Tentacles!
Yes! Yes!
SpongeBob drowns his sorrows by going to the Goofy Goober ice cream restaurant and getting absolutely piss drunk on ice cream with his best friend, Patrick Star.
Boy, Pat, that hit the spot. I'm feeling better already.
Yeah.
Waiter, let's get another round over here.
Now, then Mr. Plankton, Sheldon Plankton, the villain of the show, who is a rival restaurant owner, launches an evil plan to destroy Mr. Krabs and the Krusty Krab for good and take over Bikini Bottom town. He steals the crown of King Neptune and frames Mr. Krabs for the theft. Now, King Neptune and his daughter Mindy are new characters introduced for the movie. There isn't a chance that they might have been very grating, but they work really well. Jeffrey Tambor and Scarlett Johansson provide the voices, and I think they're a good pair of characters that expand our horizons of what the governmental situation is for these characters in SpongeBob. There's a king, and there's a monarchy. I think that makes sense because it is underwater, out of time world. So King Neptune basically demands that SpongeBob and Patrick go to Shell City and bring back his crown.
And as for you, be back here with my crown in exactly 10 days. He can do it in 9, 8, 7, 6.
SpongeBob has to travel a long distance to get there, so he pulls out his burger car.
Hey, I thought you didn't have a driver's license.
You don't need a license to drive a sandwich.
And SpongeBob and Patrick hit the road. They stop off a number of times, encounter a bunch of goofy characters, and it basically becomes a really clever road trip comedy that expands the world of SpongeBob outside of Bikini Bottom to these new hinterlands of the underwater world. For example, they go to this really tough, rough dive bar where they are pretending to be strong men with mustaches, and they're exposed pretty quickly.
You all know the rules.
And babies will be beaten senseless by every able-bodied patron in the bar.
And meanwhile, back in Bikini Bottom, Plankton has put buckets on everybody's heads. So they've all become his zombie minions walking around, just promoting his chum bucket restaurant.
What's going on here? Seize him, slaves!
Meanwhile, Plankton has also hired a hitman to follow SpongeBob and Patrick to take them out, and this character is really, really fun. He's voiced by Alec Baldwin. His name is Dennis, and he's very clearly modeled after Dennis Hopper in Easy Rider.
Now that we're back.
Finally. I got you right where I want you.
Can I help you with something, sir?
Name's Dennis. I've been hired to exterminate you.
So SpongeBob and Patrick end up arriving at Shell City, their destination, which it turns out is like a gift shop for underwater sundries, and they basically get left out on the under a lamp because they're fish. Basically, they get left out under a lamp and they start to dehydrate very rapidly. And there's this really moving, devastating death scene for these two characters where they basically acknowledge their love and friendship for each other. Really strong expression of male friendship. It's really beautiful. They think that they're going to not make it, and they surrender basically to the dehydration that is going to suck all the life and water out of them.
This doesn't look too good, Patrick.
You mean we're not gonna get the crown, save the town, and Mr. Krabs?
I don't even think we're gonna be able to save ourselves, buddy.
But they do in fact make it, and they manage to escape from Shell City, and they do so by riding on the back of David Hasselhoff, who runs out to greet them on the beach and then basically turns into a human speedboat.
I can take you there.
Who are you?
I'm David Hasselhoff.
Now, the Hasselhoff scene works really well in the movie. I think it's a lot of fun. It's the exact level of silly celebrity cameo that can function within SpongeBob's world. However, I do think it maybe had the unintended consequences of leading to several years of David Hasselhoff memes and like kids making David Hasselhoff jokes that just weren't funny. But like inherently within the film, I do think the David Hasselhoff stuff is really funny. And basically, David Hasselhoff brings them back to Bikini Bottom. They save Mr. Krabs, and the movie ends with SpongeBob performing a hard rock version of the Goofy Goober song called Goofy Goober Rock, which really slaps.
Most of all,
Hey, settle down.
I'm-
Take it easy. What the scallop?
I'm a Goofy Goober! You're a Goofy Goober!
So, as I said, I can't sit here and convince you the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is funny just by explaining it to you and repeating the gags. If you've seen it, I'm sure you'll love it as much as I do. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Some knowledge of the TV show probably is helpful. I am sad if anyone has ever been not exposed to SpongeBob at all. I would say anyone who is ever in a position where they're looking after kids or have kids, please introduce them to SpongeBob, because we need further generations to fall in love with this. I mean, it's a show that started off strong 25 years ago and has managed to maintain its quality quite well. I mean, the new episodes of SpongeBob are really funny, which is rare for an animated show. Simpsons fans will be well aware. And they've managed to, spin off and kind of do like episodes about side characters that don't feel like they're pushing the boundaries too much. Any of the spin-off shows they've done that aren't part of the main SpongeBob SquarePants show don't work as well. Like they did a Patrick Star kind of talk show that I didn't like very much, and a prequel series and stuff. But it's a great show. This is an incredible movie. It's one of a couple of animated films that are going to be on my top 25 list. You can tell my age from the fact that I'm putting these mid-2000s animated movies on a list of the greatest films of the past 25 years, but I've got no shame about that. I think that this film is phenomenal, and I think if someone 20 years older than me can put some kind of middle-of-the-road 80s comedy on their list of favorite films, I think I'm well within my rights to put the Spongebob Squarepants movie on my list. So please embrace your inner sponge, your inner goofy goober. The Spongebob Squarepants movie, my number 22 best film of the past 25 years. Thank you for tuning in. You can tune into Boy Party, new episodes every Tuesday at boypartypod.com. And I'll be back very soon with the 21st best film of the last 25 years. Bye-bye.